Out with the usual misfits and reprobates today. The Italian princess is very happy with her new shoes. A Motos hybrid on the rear and Golden Tire's wide fat front tyre. I was very keen to get into both. Straight away I noticed on certain climbs the Motos hybrid had incredible grip. That semi-trials tread pattern really hooks up on rock faces.
Geez, that was close.
Keen to see how it does in different conditions though. I'll do a thorough test. Most of you will know I'm running the tubeless system front and rear nowadays.
Ah, bloody log there.
I found this holds the sidewalls of the Motos hybrid tyre so well I didn't even bother putting any air in the tyre. So obviously it had a huge footprint on these rock faces. Same on the front, the Golden tyre has stiff sidewalls so didn't bother putting any air in the tyre at all. Initial impressions, great grip. As I've found with all Golden tyres to date, as predicted the wider front tyre slows the steering down a bit, which I quite like. The Beta isn't twitchy, but it just made the bike feel more planted. This would have been great to try on the KTM. I reckon it could have settled down that twitchy front end quite a bit. A few times I rode in soft sand and this wide tyre was great. It floats over the top of the stand instead of carving in. Anyway, it's early days. I'll review the fat Golden tyre front after all sorts of conditions.
Damn!
We revisited this rocky hill climb. Not that steep, but the rocks really put the emphasis on maintaining momentum and being very careful on the throttle to avoid spinning on the rocks.
Woo! A tough little finish. Ooh.
Sam put a Motos hybrid on the back of his Beta a while ago. He's running 10 psi in his as he's running tubes to avoid pinch flaps. So he wasn't getting the same sort of grip I was. Trying to convince him to drop the pressure to get the full potential out of the tyre, but he doesn't listen to me. None of them do, the bastards. Winters around here are very dry normally, it hasn't rained for ages. These tracks were all covered in a fine layer of dust that means a lot of trouble finding traction. In the past, this would have been pretty annoying.
Woohoo! Shit.
Nowadays, it's just a great opportunity to put the throttle and clutch skills to the test.
Ah!
We brought Andrew to this bit a few months back when he just got back into riding and we had to U-turn as he got into a lot of trouble. Not now, he's lapping it up. As always, great to see how fast the guys are picking up on various techniques. Well, it's not always great. Often there's a steep bank or huge log I finally get enough balls to try, and then they just have a crack and manage to do it too, which I think shows a profound lack of respect. Despite my lack of talent, when I go off my meds, I like to see myself as a Jedi Master of cross-training. You know, Graham Jarvis and Johnny Walker contacting me for tips, even requests for personal coaching. So if I manage to get up some obstacle, they should just sit back and applaud and say things like, "Wow, you are so cool, we could never do that." Or, "No wonder you walk so bow-legged with your huge tackle." No, they're usually rude buggers who just do it to show how easy it was. Tackling steep banks is an example of this. I've got this pie-in-the-sky dream of one day getting up vertical faces, so we mess around with any steep banks we find. We're just muddling our way through this. We'll have to get Chris Birch back at some point to show us how to do this stuff properly.
Foot off the peg, fail.
When it's not vertical, it seems you can just wheelie your front wheel to the top, then throttle off and de-weight the pegs to keep the front wheel down and ensure the rear wheel comes up. But I do know when it gets vertical you actually need to punch the vertical face with your front wheel, similar to the punch technique with logs. We finished off on this tricky little bit. It had 2 big tree roots, so you definitely had to back off the throttle or the rear wheel would shoot to one side. As usual, I finally got the balls to try it today, and all the guys had to do it just to show how easy it was. Bastards. Well, that just about wraps it up. Tell you what, it's a great way to spend a Friday.
So mate, your opinion on KTM starter motors?
You're absolutely fucked, Barry.
Those little bloody tree roots make it tricky.